We welcome you back to Chicago, Illinois. We got the final pool play game here in the senior baseball division from Curtis Granderson Stadium. It's the 1-2 Minnesota Twins Nike RBI program going up against the 0-3 Gary Nike RBI, looking for their first ever win at a regional event. Here's the schedule so far. Cubs, the big storyline today, 2-0 for the Nike RBI program from the north side of Chicago. We also saw Milwaukee upsetting Indianapolis. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Curtis Granderson Stadium. He's James Winke, and I'm Kevin Malater. Game 4 of 4 on the day is here. And we'll start with the Twins Nike RBI team. Last year they went 2-2 after starting off 2-0. This year, back and forth tilt for them. And now they have an opportunity to get back to 500 for the second straight year for a program that's continuing to grow and continuing to try to get better each and every year.
Yeah, and in order to do that, they're definitely going to have to look forward to seeing themselves at that 1-2. In order to get to 2-2 today, that's going to definitely have to come with a lot of bats and definitely a lot of heavy hitting. They've had a lot of close games, so if they're able to get a lot more heavy hitting, especially within these first few innings off of Gary, that can propel them to being back to 2-2 this year and also showing off their growth and mentality and physically.
And for Gary, this is a program that unfortunately has shown their youth and inexperience in this tournament. They're 0-3 right now. They haven't really played a competitive game yet. We talked about them yesterday, though, and we liked what we saw early going about how the moment didn't phase them. It's just they couldn't ever keep the defense rolling at the same time. The defense has been really hurting them. From a coach's perspective, how do you coach a defense in a tournament where the turnarounds are so quick?
Yeah, in order to coach a defense with the tournaments being so quick and that quick turnaround, you have to do a lot of substitutions. After these past 3 games, I'm sure that he's been able to figure it out and realize that there's certain players that are supposed to be there for certain roles. That will definitely help out. The pitching staff, of course, is going to be one way that Gary is going to have to be phenomenal in order to make sure that the Twins don't succeed in this game.
So Gary and Minnesota get set to shut down pool play here on this Saturday of the Central Regional Tournament. We have first pitch for you coming up next on the Windy City Sports Network. And with that, we welcome you back inside Curtis Granderson Stadium. Kevin Malater, James Winke, and a very early start time for some reason that we don't know why. But we'll get things going anyways. Minnesota and Gary. Lineups just handed in a moment ago, and they wanted to play ball right now. So it's a 1-ball count, and it's 2-0 now.
Yeah, very quick turnaround within this tournament. Not too sure as towards why prompted to go with the earlier start time at 4:18.
Yeah, a lot earlier than what was scheduled at 4:30. They didn't even announce it. The umpires didn't announce it either. That's ball 4 and a leadoff walk.
From the viewership standpoint, though, no complaints as you're able to just see as much baseball as quick as possible. So, although it's not our usual schedule, we'll definitely love seeing a lot of baseball as quickly as you'd love to see it. Not much of a big break in between. These are 2 new squads here at Curtis Granderson Field. We did see Gary a little bit ago last night.
Saw him twice.
Yesterday. Today we are seeing the Twins for the first time at Curtis Granderson Field, though.
Yeah, Curtis Granderson Stadium here, Les Miller Field. That was Jovan Ariano with the leadoff walk. Here's Julian Lorraine. And that one's outside for a ball. He's playing catcher tonight. Three balls, no strikes is the count here. Minnesota 1-2, Gary 0-3. As they'll check on the runner, he's back in there safely.
And as we were talking about earlier, Gary, showing their inexperience as it was 7 years in the making for them to finally make the tournament, though winless today.
Yeah. Twins, as Ryan walks. First two guys aboard here for Minnesota. Twins open up with a 13-1 loss to Milwaukee yesterday morning before concluding the day with a 4-2 victory over Cubs Nike RBI. As Luke Dam squares the bunt, pulls it back, ball one.
Some good backup by the shortstop there as you realize with the bunt being pulled, the third baseman's going to have to crash. Trying to get that lead runner, of course, if he was to make contact with the bunt.
We'll step off and we'll check on the runners.
A really smart move by the pitcher right there, just to check off and look at the runners, make sure that they're not getting too much of a lead. With this bunt being in play, you don't really see the third baseman crashing as much. The first baseman is a little bit more so in, but that third baseman kind of level to the bag.
Both runners take their bases as it's 3-1.
I believe that was off of a balk there.
And another walk there to Luke Dam.
If you're the pitcher right now, control is definitely going to be an issue. It's a lot to deal with, especially with the inexperience that this Gary, Indiana team has. So talking things over with this catcher, you have to make sure that you guys are on the same page, make sure that you're able to hit that strike zone first. It really doesn't matter if it's over the heart of the plate right now. That's a lot better with a ball in play than running up your pitch count and giving up more walks as time goes on.
I feel like every coach would agree with that statement as well, is that they would much rather have the walks or the balls and the runs scored off of hits or balls put in play than they much rather would because of walks and unforced errors.
Yeah, it's not just the pitcher that gets fatigued, but the whole team in general with them playing a waiting game. If there's a lot of walks, keep going on as the inning progresses, especially with so many balls. A lot of the players on the field kind of just become fatigued with being very tired, very bored, and those can actually cause errors as well.
Sanchez is the pitcher. Jorge Sanchez for strike one. Playing a pitcher. This is Thiessen Devine, the hitter. That one misses up and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. No one out here in the top of the first. Minnesota trying to strike first in this one. Mariano on third. Expands that lead as the 2-1 comes in and misses downstairs and has 3 balls and a strike.
When you're looking at these runners, especially with bases loaded, they're able to take some monster leads. First baseman crashing in a little bit just to make sure if a ball gets grounded to him, he's able to throw that immediately to home plate.
That's ball 4. So Devine draws a walk, and also he drives in the first run of the game as Minnesota scores first. And that'll bring out an early conference on the mound. for Gary Nike RBI.
Yeah, and as you keep pitching and keep giving up a lot of walks, is something that you need to confront and talk about with your guys around you. And you're going to want to bite some clock, even though baseball doesn't really have a time standpoint. You just have to talk things through as much time you get before the umpire kind of pulls you away. And that's just to help out the pitcher and kind of get him out of his head. To make sure that he's able to try and find that control, find out what those possibly ticks to make him more consistent and make sure that that ball was thrown over the zone more. Because if it's really not, this game is going to unravel into being very slow and very daunting for Gary, Indiana's baseball RBI team to watch and just play as a whole.
So now base loaded, still nobody out. And that one misses high for a ball.